So we were talking about action. So we were talking about the journeys that were going through the desert, the 42 journeys, and we raised the question, why did they have to go for this? So let's try to look a little bit on what the Baal Shem Tov said about this. And he says something tremendous. Kol ha'membet, and I'm quoting, Kol ha'membet masaot, all these 42 journeys, hem etzel kol adam miyom mivaldo. Follow the person from the beginning of his day, from the day he was born, ad shuvo l'olamo, until he comes back to his world. Lehavin ze, ki miyom haleda ve'hotzaato merechem imo, b'chinat yetziat mitzrayim kanada. As we explained before, for him, when he came out from his mother's womb, every single day that he does, he needs to be able to exit himself from Mitzrayim. And that's the journeys that you have to take throughout your life. So, of course, the way of the Chassidut goes is to really try to clarify to the person that everything that is written in the Torah is also connected directly to you, as we said before, not just like a story that you hear. And therefore, those 42 journeys are the foundation of understanding the processes in which we go throughout our days. And we know that what happened at the beginning of the Bria, the Bria of creation, happens also to every neshama every single time. In the beginning, there was a tremendous light filling up the whole being, whatever it was, or reality, and that was the stages of the ubar b'mi'imo. That's when the baby was in his mother's stomach. Why? Because it's an analogy, of course. When there's a candle lighting on top of his head, marim lo mi sof ha'olam, mitchilat ha'olam ve'ad sofo. They showed him the whole entire thing. Everything is revealed to him, to each and every one of us. To each and every one of us. And they teach him the whole entire Torah. After that, there is the tzimtzum of the light. There is the reduction of that knowledge of this light that comes out. And then the baby comes out to this world. And this world, his awareness is very, very narrow. He's very small. He's a baby. He doesn't know anything. He has to relearn the whole entire thing. So the Yetziah, when he comes out from his mother's stomach, he has what we call tzirei leida. Tzirim, because it's meitzer. Meitzer constricts. So woman has a contraction, right? And then they do the he, ha, ha, he, ha, ha, right? But meitzar is also the word of course, of Mitzrayim. And when he comes out, that's the remes of the Membet Masaot, his own personal journeys. As the Baal Shem Tov continues, it says, Achar kach nosea mimasa lemasa ad bo le'eretz ha'chaim ha'elyona. He goes from one place, from one journey, and journeying through his life, until he comes up to the last stop. Each and every one of us has those journeys, as it says in the parasha. And the names of those journeys, it's fascinating if we're going to be able to finish this. Of course, he needs to bring everything back to the shoresh of his neshama, to connect it, bring it back. So the Baal Shem Tov continues and says, Bevadai nichtevu masaot b'Torah, for sure, those journeys was written in the Torah, lehorot haderech hayashar, to show us the right way, לאיש הישראלי, to the Jew, לידע הדרך הישר אשר ילך בו כל ימיו, to show you the right path in which you should follow throughout your life. And that's the Baal Shem Tov of the Torah. However, it's wondering that those journeys don't necessarily work in an individual manner, but also the same thing goes on Am Yisrael bechlalut, on the whole being of what is so-called Am Yisrael. Am Yisrael is going through these journeys after he inherits the land, as it says in the beginning of the parasha, Ele Masa'ei B'nei Yisrael. So where does it say after they went to the land? So Ele Masa'ei B'nei Yisrael, Rashi Tevot Arba Galuyot. Ele Edom, Masa'ei Madai, B'nei Bavel Yavan, Israel. And that's in Sefer Nachal Gdumim. He brings it over there. So let's try to see if there is a certain spiritual purpose in those 42 journeys altogether. So far, so good? Any questions? Good? You like it? You happy? You owe me. So in Kabbalah, of course, we know that there is what we call the Shem Mem Bet, the name of 42. Right? It's a name of 42 is not like in South America, Diego, Armando, Fernando, Corriento, there's not there's something else. The Kabbalah teaches us on the name of Membed. It is a holy name that is constructed out of 42 letters, and it is known to us in the tefillah of Ana Bekoach. Ana Bekoach. Titfos Tadagim. Yeah. Without getting into you're never going to hear the end of it. Be ready. Of course, a nice bottle of bourbon can make me be quiet. However, without getting into the discussion, philosophical discussion, historical discussion, anthropological discussion, where it was actually written, I refer to our Masorah. Our Masorah tells us this was written after the Churban of the Bayit of Bet HaMikdash by Rabbi Nechunya ben Akana. Rabbi Nechunya hid that tremendous meditation, tremendous tefillah, it's like a Jewish mantra, in the simple, what it seems like is very simple tefillah of basically 7 lines of 6 words each one. Last time I checked, 7 times 7 is 42, right? So Sach HaKol Membet Tevot as the Shem, the holy name, which is hidden in the Rashi Tevot. However, this is not the only place in tefillah when we have the name Membet. The parashiyah Rishona of Shema Yisrael, the first parasha of Shema Yisrael, Ve'ahavta, right? Ve'ahavta et Hashem, which refers to Avodat Hashem without any ulterior motives, without reward or punishment. Just simple, pure love to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And it's very important to understand that parasha refers to like that. Why? Because that parasha is also but 42 words, Keneged Shem Membet of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There is more. Also, when we say in Kaddish, when we repeat, we say what? V'ishtabach v'itpa'ar v'itramam v'itnaseh v'ithadar v'it'aleh v'it'alal. Right? These are 7 words, and how many letters in each one? 6. Wow. 6 ones in each one, and that's Keneged Shem Membet. That's why it's very important. I mean, there are many other reasons why it's very important, but this is very important to pay attention in Kaddish and not to talk to anyone and not to look on your darn phone and to actually say it's right, to answer appropriately, because you have no idea what you're doing. If you only knew what you were doing, believe me, you're going to come to Olam Haba, Bezat Hashem, after 120 years, you're going to say, "Oi, I don't know how does it." We're going to go like this. If I only knew. So now you know. So there's no excuses. So if you only knew. But, and you should know that, of course, these are just few examples, but that name of 42, when you say it, and when you say now all these things, and you say it appropriately, both Kriyat Shema and Kaddish, and all these things that we said before, right? This is a key. This name 42 is a key for spiritual elevation. Li'it'alut ruchanit. It's very, very important. It does something to you. That's why it's in the first paragraph of Shema ve'ahavta, which is love in an unconditional manner. No rewards, no punishment. Why? Ve'ahavta et Hashem Elokecha. That's it. I love him. Second part, va'yayim shamoa. Yeah, you listen, you don't listen. That's a different story. So, And of course, this is it appears in many other places in Tefillah, but this is not the time and not the place to elaborate more than that. It's more than enough to just work on that. The Mekubalim tells us also that name, 42 name, came to fix all the kilkulim, all the blemishes that we did throughout we have to suffer throughout what we call Malchei Edom, as it mentioned in Sefer Bereshit. And we know that because of that, there was Shvirat HaKelim, the Kelim were Nishbarim, and so on and so forth, and then we're supposed to do something for this. Look in the area, it's fascinating over there. And when you be able, okay, well, one day, okay, we'll see, skip this one. In other words, the Ari basically built his whole entire Kabbalah based on the concept of the Sheva Mlachim, the 7 kings, which represent certain types of vessels that could not contain the light, and therefore they broke, and the lights, the holy sparks shattered and spread all over the world. And from now on, we have a lot of work to do to get it like this. This is a fundamental concept in Kabbalah that the Ari basically built his whole Kabbalah around those concepts. And we have to go through all this world until we came to this world. And the reason why those things happened, by the way, that those vessels broke and they could not contain the light, because every one of those kings, again, we're talking about spiritual kings, says, Ani Imloch, I'm going to rule. I'm going to rule, nobody else besides me. In other words, I'm going to be very selfish. So therefore you should know, when it comes to selfishness, holy light, spirituality could not contain itself in selfishness. And because they were selfish, there was Shvirat HaKelim, the worlds fell apart, and from that, all the holy sparks fell into the klipot, into the abyss of the klipot, and our job now is to retrieve them back and to bring them back to where they were beforehand. That's a lot of work. Imagine I will take, let's say, 7 great, just for example, 7 great vases of crystal, and I will shatter them, and I'll put it all in the bag, and I'll toss it into the ocean. Go ahead, go pick them all up for me. It's a lot of work. There's a lot of work. So our job in creation, as the Mekubalim tells us, the Ari tells us, and those one of the things that you read and you say, I know Kung Fu. You understand everything. If you're able to really internalize that our job is really to bring those nitzotzot, to separate the good from the bad, those holy sparks, to bring it, to recognize them, to assort them, and after we do that, to bring it back to the source. However, with this breakage of the current to those holy vessels, some of the sparks fell so deep into the sitra achara, into the darkness, into the dark matter, that the only place to take them out will be the midbar, the desert. And where is that? And if they fell over there, and where there's a midbar gadol v'anora, nachash, saraf, ve'akrav, ve'tzimaon asher em bo mayim. Look at Dvarim Chet Tedvav. These are all the desert in which they fell into, which was very, very hard to take out because there was no water and there are bad elements and so on and so forth. In other words, it not necessarily refers to a desert where there's no water. It refers to a desert in terms of spirituality, a desert that there's no even a smidgen, a drop of spirituality, a drop of kedusha, of holiness in it. That's why Kadosh Baruch Hu brought Am Yisrael to do 42 journeys, Keneged Hashem of Ana Bekoach, which that brings the sparks back up and puts them into appropriate places that need to be fixed. And then to start the overall journey of preparation, the ultimate journey to preparation. So therefore the reason why they went is really to break away the grip in which the impurities had over the holiness. However, to do so, we need all Am Yisrael together. We need the Shishim Ribo. We need the 600,000 Neshamot all in one place together under the ruling and the guidance of Moshe Rabbeinu. Only that we can take them from the deepest parts of darkness, which were in the desert. That's why they had to go to the desert. And you should know, in order to deal with any kind of impurity, to be able to recycle and to bring back holiness for impurity, this is not a job for everyone. You need to be in a complete shlemut, in a complete internal harmony in order to do so. If not, if you are vulnerable in somewhere, the impurity is going to find that entry point and is going to penetrate into you, and because you are already so deep underwater, unprotected, you're going to get sucked in. And you need to understand this, because your life is dependent on it. If it's something that you know that is beyond your abilities, stay away. If you know there is something that is within your abilities, stay away. Why stay away? Because most likely we're arrogant. We say we are at this level when we're not. You need to walk as Moshe Rabbeinu guided them as a shepherd in the desert. You must have somebody to guide you through the desert of this life. Otherwise the tum'ah will rip you into shreds. And that's what we need to remember. So we already said before that in the few words of the parasha is also the 4 galuyot of Am Yisrael. And we should know that the reason for those galuyot, exiles, was to reach out, according to Tosfot brings it also, is to reach out to all corners of the world and bring from there all the holy sparks and holy neshamot of Jews that spread up all over. And Tosfot says that's why Am Yisrael went to Galut, to bring all the lost souls of the Jews that spread up all over the world, to bring them back. And it's very interesting that you see a lot of gerei tzedek, not gerei for money or gerei for this. Mamash gerei tzedek, gerim and gerot, that coming from all corners of the world, from all faiths. I haven't seen so many Chinese, but you know. I have seen Muslims, Christians, people from South America, people from all over the world are coming back because we spread up. Probably all these Israelis that go travel over the world, you know, who knows? The Hummus Trail, true Hummus Trail, you know, they travel all over the world. So, which is very similar, by the way, you should know that you don't know who you're going to meet. That's why when you go on a journey, you set your foot out of the door of your house. You don't know who's going to come your way. And you need to be prepared, because maybe this is why you came here to this world. Maybe this is why you came here to this place. You go places, you meet people, all of a sudden you bring the light to their lives. You got to be very careful. You got to be very careful. That's why we spread up all over the place. And you need to conduct yourself with such seriousness to your job, which is a sacred job, to bring all the sparks that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created back together. And you can't be sick or ill or impaired spiritually to go into a journey. Now you should know that the Baal Shem Tov used to do the same thing. Lubavitch, Mubavitch. The Baal Shem Tov used to do this before. He used to send his Talmidim, his students, all over the world, all over the places, to most faraway places, to do certain peulot, to do certain things, to bring about excitement about Judaism. And by this excitement of Judaism, the holy sparks that were hidden, they come up. They break away the klipot. When you break away the klippah by singing, by the tlahavut, the excitement, you do the tikkun. You're able to identify, you do the tikkun. The Or HaChaim says, Hatam shayu Israel chonim b'makom echad shana. The reason why they spend in one place 1 year, and then in another place they stay for 12 hours, is shehu kefi ma shetzarich. That's exactly what it's needed. Lebirur hanitzotzot sheyeshnam b'makom ha'u uviruo birur atzum. As Or HaChaim in the Torah says, the time in which they stayed in one place, depended on what needs to be done in this place. Rabotai, you all want to go to Israel on Kanfei Nesharim? No problem. Do what you need to do. Fix. Be shomer Torah mitzvot. Keep. I mean, it's very interesting. We have, Baruch Hashem, quite a large numbers of guys that made Aliyah to Israel. But it's not enough. We need to be able to, but we are not going to be able to go. And I can tell you this myself. I experienced myself personally. We're not going to be able to go until we fix whatever needs to be fixed. Because we can't leave something unfixed that we can break, that we can fix, that we broke, we need to fix it. So you want to go to Israel? The only way it's going to happen if you do what you need to do here. Then you can go. And sometimes we come to places and that you see it. We arrive to places that we didn't plan on coming. And we didn't, I didn't plan on ever coming to the United States and living here for 30 whatever years. I live in America more than I live in Israel. But that's the journey that needs to take me. Sometimes the journey is for days, sometimes the journey is for years. As the Baal Shem Tov mefarish the pasuk, Ma mitzad hagever koreneu v'darko yachpotz, that a person thinks that anywhere he goes, that's according to what he wants and when he needs to go. But really, HaKadosh Baruch Hu leads you to this place in order for you to bring about the inyanim there. And I guess I had to come here, but we need a minyan, Tzaddik. We'll need a minyan. Well, I guess I had to come here in order to teach you guys. So... ערבית. התפללת כבר? בסדר. So it's very important that we remember that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which mashgiach on us, is really, really concerned to where we reach here in order to be able not only to fix the tikkun, but also to be mechaber, to connect the nitzotzot inside of ourselves. As I explained to you, it is a personal journey and it is a national journey as well. And if we will only be able to see those journeys, to understand that it's a spiritual journey, we'll see how beautiful this journey is. And therefore you would look every day forward for another day to come. Be'ezrat Hashem, when we come next week, during the week, we'll continue with this other part of those journeys, because it has to do with us personally. And then we'll understand why some are called one way and some have different type of names. But until then, Shabbat, Shalom, and a holy Shabbat.